Hey squad, how we all doing this evening? It is time for the regularly scheduled stream. We're playing 428 Shibuya Scramble. This is stream number 2, so we've already started this game. This game is a visual novel that takes place over the course of 10 hours. We have finished the first in time hour of the game, which was 10 a.m. till 11. Which there was if you're not familiar, there was a kidnapping the night before, there was a police handoff for ransom money with the girl's twin, and that didn't go so hot. We fixed that. We managed to get through that and make sure that Achi, who I believe is the other protag, didn't get yes, Achi didn't get arrested by mistake. And also, our other protagonist did not then arrest the wrong guy. Oof. Right, I forgot. They like to make the sound effects loud. And then we got to 11. We played a little bit of Tama, who is stuck in their suit. Not getting paid currently, but we'll hopefully fix that. We may already have. And then we also played a section of this man, Osawa. Right, I forgot to move my camera back for subtitle reasons. Let's do that. Let's move me over a little more. There we go. And he is a doctor? He works for a pharmaceutical company. With the Uwu disease thing, and he looks like he's being blackmailed, possibly. Turns out his daughter is one of the ones who's been kidnapped, and they are also looking for the other daughter who is off with Achi right now. So we're kind of in that position at the moment. We did make it so that Achi gave the guys who took Tama's boss away directions so that they wouldn't show up, so possibly things could go better for Tama right now. Right. We'll find out. We still haven't, for this hour, started with Minorikawa, so I'm not sure what his deal is exactly. And we still have Kano, who was the undercover detective in the first hour. I want to go back and see if what we did with Tama helped Tama. Hey, a job's a job, Chiri says after a moment, pricking up again. They tell me to sell this junk. I'll sell it. Door flies open suddenly, and a loud voice belts out. Hold it right there! I whirl around in a panic to see an odd-looking man standing in the doorway. It's Junichi Yanagishita. He's the guy who hired us. I heard that, Chiri. Don't you go calling my product junk. That's disrespectful. Chiri gave him an apologetic look. Whoops, sorry about that. Chiri is our friend who was in the chicken outfit. You should be, but whatever. If you really have doubts, have a try for yourself. Mr. Yanagishita pulls a bottle of Burning Hammer from his coat pocket. Burning Hammer. Sister products include Del Sweats, Cellulose, Better Sweater, Dom Pepperon, Power Burn Zed, Mr. Thin, Nega Chow, Super Nega Chow. Better Sweater? Oh. Well, at first glance it looks like some kind of energy supplement, but the cheapo label gives an immediate impression of sketchiness. Go on, says Yanni Gishita. Give it a go. Chiri reaches out to take it. But no sooner does she grab the bottle than Mr. Yanagishita shouts out once more. Wait, hold on. What? Chiri squawks. What gives? You two. You're both good? Stomach-wise? Stomach-wise? Yeah, drinking this stuff on an empty stomach can cause some pretty nasty problems. So just make sure you eat or drink something beforehand. Doesn't matter what, really. Wait, nasty problems? Yeah, such as what, I ask. I'd rather not say. Nobody would buy it otherwise. Seriously? It's all good. I just had lunch, Cheery says. She flashes a carefree smile. Well, I haven't eaten yet. But on the other hand, I've been guzzling as much iced tea as I could to fill myself up. It's probably safe for me to try this stuff. Oh no. No? No. No, we're not drinking that. No. It's not even particularly appetizing. Cheery twists off the cap. Bottoms up, she declares, and proceeds to noisily gulp her bottle down. Doesn't seem like she minds it. Maybe it's actually pretty tasty after all. Huh? Aren't you gonna have some too? Yanagishita flashes me a look. I guess I might as well try it. No! I said no! I stick the bottle of burning hammer into my mascotted head mouth. Hey, G-Dwarf. It has an unexpected smell, like curry. Getting my own lips around the mouth of the bottle, I gulp down the liquid inside. Huh? It doesn't taste like anything. See, we're stuck in a mascot outfit. If this stuff goes badly for us, we're just like twice as bad off. A handful of seconds go by. What the heck? Oh, see, I warned you. I told you no. Feels like a firecracker just exploded inside my mouth. Now it's spicy. Way too spicy. It's like I just swallowed a chili pepper coated in curry powder. Before I know it, I'm sweating bullets. Well, you sweating, Mr. Yanagishita asks. Like, a whole lot? You are, aren't ya? Why does he sound so happy about that? That right there is the magic of burning hammer at work. Cheery and I are at a loss for words. Burning hammer. Drink all you want and just burn those pounds away. How's that sound? Good, huh? This is just so stupid spicy it makes you sweat, Cheery blurts out. Blunt to the point. I approve. Yeah? Well, I guess you're right, Yanagishita says. He hangs his head. What is in this stuff, I ask. I can still feel my tongue tingling. Heck, my body is almost too numb to move. I'm so shocked I even forget to get properly angry. So, it's this health food product that got imported from America a few years back. But the import agency went out of business not so long after and couldn't move the merch. So I bought up the whole lot. Everything they had in their storehouse. Spent all the money I had on it. Cheery arches an eyebrow. How much did it cost you, she asks. 1 million yen for 300 bottles. I could scarcely believe my ears. 300 bottles at 1 million yen for the lot? That's roughly 3,333 yen apiece. Each one of these teensy little bottles cost over 3,000 yen? You got ripped off, man, Cheery says. You really think so? Huh, yeah, you're probably right. He hangs his head even more despondently. This is the sort of thing they sell in 100 yen shops or something. Ouch. Cheery moving in for the kill. 100 yen shops? Really? He lets out the heaviest of sighs. I'm starting to feel pretty bad for the guy, actually. Don't let it get you down, sir, I say, hoping to comfort him. But Mr. Yanagishita just lets out a sob-choked sigh. Wait, I need to read what a sigh is. A sigh. Fun fact, a sigh. A deep breath emphatically exhaled, often a sign of disappointment, stress, or unrequited love. Also a way of expressing the anxiety brought on by massive debt. One who has no money to give, only sighs. Right around now, Minoru Minorikawa is in the company of someone inclined to sigh this way. I can read things within reading. There's notes within notes. Oh, we could switch. Oh, man, we haven't even, like... No. Wow, I didn't know we could jump within a sub-note. That's interesting. I'll try again. It'll be okay whether or not it helps you lose weight. It is spicy and it does make you sweat. I'm not sure I follow, Chiri says. How much are you selling these bottles for, boss? 15,000 yen per bottle. Fun fact, selling all 300 bottles would yield proceeds of 4.5 million yen. After deducting expenses such as the cost of the product, rental fee for the venue, pay for the part-timers, and printing flyers, this yields a net profit of roughly 2.5 million yen. It's doubtful that anyone would pay 15,000 yen for a single small bottle, but you never know. There could be a few housewives or young women out there who'd fork out that much money in the name of weight loss. A terrifying thought. Fun fact. What? Chiri's jaw practically hits the floor. Mine does the same. No way. No freaking way. Calling that price point absurd wouldn't begin to do it justice. Well, look. Selling it at that price is my only option. I need to cover my costs. He's got a point. He's at least not selling them at a loss. He probably won't sell them. Anyway, please, I need you both to work your hardest. Apparently he's committed to this insane course of action. Okay, Chiri replies. It's more like a sigh than a proper response, but I can't blame her. As for me, I can't even find the words. I'm so flabbergasted, or just sit there and don't speak up. Isn't this just a scam, sir? Isn't this just a scam, sir? Sorry, can't hear you. Yanagishita plays dumb. Fine, I repeat myself. This is a scam, isn't it? He tilts his head to one side. Something's wrong with my ear. Undeterred, I repeat myself once more. This is a scam, isn't it? Tears are welling up in Mr. Yanagishita's eyes. Look, kid, he says huskily. Listen up. He's clearly struggling to maintain his calm. You're in the grown-ups world now. I nod a few times. But a scam is still a scam, right? I say. You, sir? What's your name again? Oh, it's Tama. Okay, Tama, why are you still wearing your costume? What? He straight up dodged my question. Oh well, at least I tried. I explained the situation with my suit. Wow, so like you're going to do the sales now like that? Well, if I can't take the mascot costume off, I don't have much of a choice, do I? No, that won't do it all. I hired you to be a model. If you're wearing that thing, then what's the point? I'm at a loss for words. The point is exactly what he's missing. It's not like I'm wearing this getup because I want to. How about we just cut it off ya? Chiri says with a big grin. I have some doubts about this person being our friend. She pulls a massive pair of scissors out of her bag. The blades make an unsettlingly snip-snip sound as she wiggles them in my face. Whoa, no, you can't do that, Yanagishita exclaims. That suit's a rental. I don't want to have to reimburse him for the thing. Well, then what am I supposed to do? He looks at me uncertainly. Maybe you could have someone from the rental place come down? Chiri suggests, before helping herself to the rest of my lunch. Oh, hey, good idea. He seems to be making an effort to calm himself down, at least. Just try to grin and bear it until then, Tama. Well, I guess that's that, then. I'm sure we'll get it off eventually, I say. Hopefully before the demo. That's the spirit. I really need you to be my model. A model, huh? It's flattering, but I can't help but wonder, would I be any good at that? Well, this is no time to be timid. I need that money no matter what. If this product doesn't sell well, we're not getting paid regardless. My troubles all started earlier this morning. Ooh, flashback. I was at a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. I'd happened to pass by and I spotted a red necklace on display in the storefront. And I got this weird sensation when I saw it. You could maybe call it deja vu? Something like that. It was as if I'd been drawn to it somehow. This was mine. I was sure of it. I wanted it. No, I needed to make it mine, as soon as I possibly could. That's how strong the feeling was. The price was 40,000 yen. I checked my wallet repeatedly, but I only had 20,000 on me. Nonetheless, I needed to have it. There was just one question. How? Somehow, I managed to drag myself away from the shop. Just a few minutes later, I ran into Mr. Yanagishita. Hey, a voice said out of nowhere. If you want, I can pay you 10,000 yen for a day's work. I found myself staring at this frumpy middle-aged man who was handing me his business card. Managing Director Junichi Yanagishita, Yamato Health Foods Co. Limited. I'm in a real bind here. Need some extra help. Would you mind coming with me? I'm begging you, just one day. He seemed pretty sketchy. As much as I needed the money for that necklace, I wasn't gonna go anywhere with some random weirdo. I ignored him and tried to just walk off. Please? 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 Yanagishita grabbed me by the hand. Watch it, pal, I snapped. Hands off, for I started shouting for help. Please? It's not like that. Just hear me out. Look, I'm in a hurry. Please? Please? Knock it off. I spun forcefully around, away from him, yanking my hand from his grip. Oof. Yanagishita whirled through the air and fell into the bushes. Whoa, where'd that come from? He gasped. His eyes were wide as saucers. You a martial artist or something? Love the fabric pattern there. The green with the white swirls, it shows up in anime a lot, typically as like a bundle or something you see when people are like, they do this thing when they're sneaking around sometimes, where they tie fabric around their face, but they tie it under their nose to supposedly stop the sound of breathing going through. I've not seen it outside of anime, but if it exists, I would probably get some. Make something cool with it. No, I think that was just a fluke. The truth was I was surprised myself at how well I pulled off that escape move. Ah, okay then. Look, I'm sorry. Can you give me a hand? No way. No, I mean, give me your hand. My hip's killing me here. Ah. Ow, 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 ow. I guessed. Least I could do was help the guy get to his feet. Look, why are you hounding me so much? Please don't be angry. The moment I saw you, I just felt it. You're the only person who could possibly do this job for me. I let out a sigh, but my interest was admittedly piqued. What kind of job? I need a sales rep for a health supplement. I want you to do PR as a dieting success story for my product. Just look at you. You have the body of an actress. Sales are gonna go through the roof. Well, it was hard to feel too offended when he told me that. Job didn't seem as fishy as I initially expected. Alright, maybe I'm interested, I said. There's just one thing. Yeah, whatever it is, I'm sure I can handle it. I need 20,000 yen as soon as possible. So, if the day only pays 10,000. Alright then, if you can sell 100 bottles at our sales event, I'll throw in another 10,000 as a bonus. How's that sound? I certainly couldn't think of any other way I was going to earn 20,000 yen in a single day. This might be exactly the break I needed. Got a deal. You have my services for the day, I said, bowing my head. Yes! Yanagishita jumped for joy. What about your hip? Huh? Oh, yeah, it's better now. All better. Fixed itself, right just now. Yanagishita bowed deeply as I gave him a dubious look. Look, I'm sorry, he added hurriedly. I wasn't trying to pull fast one on you, honest. I was just scouting for talent and I saw you and well, was trusting this guy really the best idea? I'm starting to worry, just a little, about whether he'd actually pay up. Look, I'm staked everything on the sales demo later today, he went on. This is a make-or-break opportunity of a lifetime. Sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm in a ton of debt. 2 million yen. 2 million. Okay, so if this all works out and he sells everything and he makes 2.5 million yen, he's going to pay off his debt and then have a bit of money left over. I feel like he at least did some proper math, which is something. Yanagishita's tone had taken on a feverish intensity. If I don't pay it back by the end of the day, then boy howdy am I up the creek without a paddle. How did you even get into a situation like that, I asked. He gazed skyward, a far-off look in his eyes. Because even if he knows he has no chance of winning, sometimes a man just has to stand and fight. But I guess a girl like you wouldn't understand. He laughed and smiled at his own words, but he was right. I sure as heck didn't understand in the slightest. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagishita briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust a cat costume out towards me. What? Here? Yeah, before the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. Fun fact, the burning hammer in the sample bottles is cut 10 parts to 1 with water. Even so, it is intensely spicy, and drinking it on an empty stomach is sure to cause gastrointestinal distress, or even make the drinker black out. It's hard to believe that a sample of something so dangerous would win over any customers, but you never know. There could be housewives or young women out there who'd accept such a risk in the name of weight loss. Another terrifying thought. I'm gonna start calling these terrifying thoughts. The job's already started, you know. And with that, Mr. Yanagishita went about getting me into the mascot suit. Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I was going to get my hands on that necklace, I had to take the chance that this job would pay out. I doubt we're going to be able to sell a single bottle of this crap, Cheery whispers in my ear. I'll just have to do the best I can, I say. I say it more to myself than to anyone else. Once again, I ask myself, why am I in such a rush to get this necklace anyway? I honestly don't know. It's the strangest thing. I try my hardest to think of a reason, but all I get is a dull aching throb at the back of my head. It's the same pain I felt earlier, as if I'd gotten a good bunk on the head with something. Ooh. Well, we got Tom all the way through. So that's something. Still stuck in that mascot head. Maybe we should see how... What's up with this one? Let's go see this man. The Super Cub 90 raced down Route 246 toward Shibuya. Terrifying fact, a motorcycle produced by Honda with an 85cc engine displacement, a common sight around town, often used by newspaper and postal delivery workers. Many owners are big enthusiasts, sometimes even swapping out parts such as the handlebars or mufflers and giving the body a repaint, resulting in fashionable bikes that don't even look like Super Cubs at first glance. The speedometer remained at a steady 60 kilometers per hour. Pumping the gas harder was no use. This was as fast as the bike would go. Minoru Minorikawa shouted as he sped along. Damn it, I'm not letting you die! He jerked the handlebars and blew past a truck on the inside. The driver scowled at him as he shot by. You maniac! Trying to get yourself killed? Just the opposite. Minorikawa shouted back, I'm saving lives! The stoplight ahead turned red, cutting him off at the intersection. Oh, come on! He had no choice but to slam on the brakes, but his agitation boiled over as he waited for the signal to change again. How long's this thing gonna stay red? Hurry up already! He brought the bike right up to the very edge of the line, keeping the engine revved like a dragster ready to peel out. Not on time is not in my dictionary. The light turned red. Then Kyoa's own light turned to bleed at last. He hit the accelerator as hard as he could. His engine died with a sputter. Huh? Oh, come on! What the hell? Car horns blared angrily behind him. In a fury, he pulled his bike over to the side of the road. No matter what he did, the engine refused to turn over. Was the problem with the spark plug? Or maybe the battery? Whatever it was, he didn't have time to figure it out now. With tears in his eyes, he left the bike, his companion of 10 years, abandoned on the roadside. He was about to break into a run when he saw a taxi dead ahead, letting out a passenger. He hurried to hop into the cab. Just head for Shibuya Station. I'll let you know exactly where once we get closer. The taxi driver nodded coolly. Of course, sir. 10 minutes! I need you to get me there in 10 minutes. The driver grimaced. I'm afraid getting there in 10 minutes is a bit. 15 then! Sir, that's still... Look, that's all the time I can afford. Assuming traffic conditions cooperate, sir, then maybe. I can't make any promises. Minoru Kawa looked at the driver's ID photo above the fare meter. His name was Hachiro Kimizuka. He was a middle-aged fellow. Looked a little rough around the edges. Mr. Kimizuka, I chose you for this. You can do it. Chose me? Sir, I'm pretty certain we met by chance. Okay, sure. I suppose you could phrase it that way. Anyhow, can we get going? Right, Kimizuka said with a faint sigh. I'll see what I can do. The taxi pulled away at a decent clip. Don't know what's up with this character, but I kind of like him. Minoru Kawa's frantic journey had started 20 minutes earlier. Flashback time. He'd been at home, working on an interview piece. He's a reporter, probably. He clucked his tongue in annoyance as the ringing phone broke his train of thought. Why did someone always call right when the words were flowing? If he didn't keep getting interrupted, he probably could wrap this piece up in no time. Be quiet! He pointed at the telephone as he yelled. I'm writing here. But his shouting did nothing to silence the ringing. He didn't have much choice but to pick up. Minoru Kawa speaking. There was no response. Hello? He hesitated, ready to hang up. Was this a prank call? It's me. It's Toyama. It was Teru Toyama, the president of Heaven Publishing. Terrifying fact. A publishing company that puts on both hard-hitting non-fiction books and tabloid-style scandal rags. The Invincible Journalist, penned by company president Toyama himself, was a candidate for the Japan Non-Fiction Prize. Oh? What do you want? If this is about work, I'm already booked pretty full. He'd taken work from Heaven Publishing on several occasions, but the pay was hardly competitive. Lately he'd been turning them down a lot, so he hadn't heard from Toyama in a while. No, this isn't work-related. Then what do you want? I'm kind of pressed for time here, working on some copy. Minoru Kawa was in no mood to beat around the bush. It seemed like every conversation he had with Toyama went like this. Ah, you're busy. That's good. Busy's good when you're a freelancer. Toyama sounded unusually sympathetic. Minoru Kawa found it off-putting. I hear sales have been good on your end, he said cautiously. With this month's 4-Star General Gossip and all. 4-Star General Gossip was a monthly magazine, Heaven Publishing's flagship publication. Terrifying fact! A magazine focused on the private lives of celebrities and politicians. Most of the articles found in its pages are random nonsense, but 1 out of every 100 or so contains an actual major scoop, making it a difficult outlet to ignore. It had a small circulation, and for the most part flew under the radar, but once in a while, they'd land some big scoop and sell like crazy. This month's edition had come with a free scratch card, a gimmick that had moved 100,000 copies with ease. 5 winning symbols in a row wins 100,000 yen, was it? Minoru Kawa asked. A weak, moist sound came through the receiver. Baffled, Minorikawa listened more closely. It came again. Then again. It kind of sounded like sobbing. Mr. Toyama? Are you crying? There was another soft sob, and then yet another. What's going on? Where are you? At the office, Toyama managed. He let out another mewling whimper. What's the matter? It's nothing. Well, it's gotta be something. Come on, what is it? Toyama gave no reply. Mr. Toyama, you still there? Silence. What is it? What happened? Look, doesn't tell me anything. What the hell's going on? Toyama squeaked out a drawn-out whine. Okay, I'm sick of this. I'm hanging up now. Minorikawa was about to break the connection when he heard Toyama murmur. The only thing I can do now is die. Okay. The taxi lurched to a stop as the driver slammed on the brakes. Ow. Minorikawa pitched forward, his face smacking against the back of the seat in front of him. Kimizuka stuck his head out the window. Careful, buddy, he shouted at someone in the street ahead. You're gonna get yourself killed. Arrow Memo! Hey, thanks for that cheer. Wait, what? That got dark? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, hey, it's Detective. Minorikawa blinked the stars from his eyes and saw a man moving alongside the cab. And the guy grabbed onto the handle of the back door. Please, I need you to let me have this cab. No way, Minorikawa snapped. Just who did this guy think he was? Please, I'm begging you here. Look, I'm in a hurry, pal. Get your own cab. I know how ridiculous this must sound, but please, this is really, really urgent. Urgent? Yes, it's a matter of life or death. Please. The guy looked pretty desperate. Look, I'm sorry I'm dealing with something urgent here too. Then let me ride with you. I'll pay for the whole fare. My entire future's on the line here. The guy sure was persistent. Maybe he was telling the truth. But Minorikawa had problems of his own. Sorry, buddy. It's life or death on my end, too. Hey, Kavina. Thanks for that cheer. It's the eager young dick cadet. Wait, that sounds wrong. Yeah. He's the one with the dick diary. I believe with his dictations. Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to us getting to him, too. I gotta look out after me and mine. Right. So sorry to trouble you. Finally, the guy gave up and shuffled away. Guess it couldn't have been that much of a life-ending crisis after all. Minorikawa checked his wristwatch. Damn it! That just cost us 5 minutes. I'll try to make it up, sir, the driver called back. The taxi lurched into motion, the engine quickly revving up to speed. Whoa, that was really cool. All he did was run up some stairs, and that was really cool. Once inside the building, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing's rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of 4-star General Gossip on the 4th floor. When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Hey, Mr. Toyama! He shouted and banged, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door in. Whoa! The sight as he stepped into the office filled him with horror. Ooh, I think we're late. Yep, we're late. Minorikawa clutched the sides of his head. I'm too late. Hey, Zoo. Thanks for being here. Oh no, if only I'd gotten here a little sooner. So this would be a bad end. If we... Minorikawa rushed to Heaven Publishing as fast as he could. Couldn't get there in time to save Toyama, and sad to say it, but it was really all Kano's fault. Why does Kano want a taxi so badly? Check his 1110 timestamp and the situation might become clearer. Alright. Let's go play as Kano and see if we can't at least stop the bad end for that. As he wandered through the back alleys, Kano gritted his teeth. Going after the guy on the bike had been a bad judgment call. By the time he got back up onto the pedestrian overpass, the man who'd thrown the attaché case was almost out of sight. Right, he ran after the money, and the guy got away. He'd gotten on the bridge. Kano prided himself on being fleet of foot, but he knew even he would never catch the guy before he disappeared. He'd followed the culprit as far as the alleyways, but there he'd lost him completely. All he could do now was hope for one of his colleagues caught the man on the motorcycle. Kuze's voice crackled through the earpiece. Mobile Command Center calling all units. The suspect on the motorcycle has handed off the case to an accomplice in Miyashita Park, another foreigner. For real? Kano muttered. One thing immediately struck him as strange. Why hand the case off to someone else at all? Why not just escape on the bike? The man with the motorcycle dumped the bike and fled on foot. We've retrieved the bike and run the plate, and we've determined it was a stolen vehicle. Terrifying fact! The advanced police communication system is carefully maintained. By using the digital wireless systems in their patrol cars, officers are able to directly access the station's computer network, allowing them to quickly check to see if an individual is on the wanted list or if a vehicle is stolen. We still don't have enough details to positively ID the suspect. The suspect now carrying the attaché case is heading through Dogenzaka, also on foot. We've got him under observation. Dogenzaka, huh? That wasn't too far from where Kano was now. It looks like we're dealing with a foreign crime syndicate that's familiar with Shibuya. All units head to Dogenzaka. But do not, I repeat, do not attempt to apprehend the suspect with the case. Let's see where he goes. Kano nodded for himself. Without knowing more about the crook's MO, letting this guy go for now is probably the only right call. I just want you all to know one last thing. Because his tone grew more solemn. Whatever happens, I know I can count on each and every one of you. Don't disappoint me. Over and out. Kano had the unsettling feeling that the message had been meant for him. Right, it's now or never. The sudden appearance of the syndicate and its bizarre actions were rapidly moving things beyond the jurisdiction of both the MPD and the local police. Mustering his resolve, Kano headed for Dogenzaka. Kano pulled his cell phone out of his pocket. It was Ruby calling. She knew full well he wasn't supposed to take private calls while he was working a case. Maybe it was an emergency? He decided to pick up. Rumi? I'm sorry. Are you in the middle of something right now? Kind of. Is this an emergency? Well, yeah. So, I'm in Shibuya right now, and... Shibuya? Why did she have to be in Shibuya now of all times? So, my father came down from Nagano all of a sudden. What? Rumi's father, Shuzio, had been staunchly opposed to the two of them getting married. Kano had visited his home many times, but the man had never deigned to meet him. Yeah, he told me to tell you he wants to meet with you. What? Now? Kano blurted the words out with more alarm than he'd intended. I told him you were busy working, but he said he'd wait. This can't be happening, Kano whimpered to himself. I'm sorry. I know he can be demanding. That's not the issue. Her dad offering to wait made it harder for him to refuse. Alright, Kano said, but I'll have to call you back later, okay? I really am sorry. I'll be at a cafe called La Trek. It's by the train station. Rumi hung up. For a long moment, Kano stood in a daze, staring at his phone. As if keeping up with the case wasn't stressful enough. At last he stumbled into motion, but even as he scoured Dogenzaka for any sign of the criminal, his mind remained fixed on the meeting with Rumi's dad. There's no way of knowing when he'd be done with his casework today. But could he really pass up a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get her father's approval for her hand in marriage? Terrifying fact! Odds are that this will not be the only once-in-a-lifetime experience Detective Kano winds up having today. Thanks, game. Moment got confused with Lautrec with the cafe from Persona 5 LeBlanc. Maybe he could slip away for just a bit. There were plenty of detectives still tailing the suspect. Taking 15 minutes or so to meet with Shizuyo wouldn't be such a big deal, would it? No, we should focus on this job. No, right now I've got a job to focus on. Kano shook his head to clear out the foolish impulses. What the hell had he been thinking? The girl's life was on the line. Marrying Rumi was more important to him than anything, but now wasn't the time. Besides, now that he thought about it, running out on a critical investigation to meet with the old man probably wasn't going to score him any points. Rumi's dad didn't strike him as someone who'd approve of shirking one's responsibilities. Kano would just have to wrap up his kidnapping case a little ahead of schedule, then he'd have a proper sit-down with Shizuyo. As he considered this plan, he caught sight of the man with the attaché case walking by. That's probably what stopped him from getting in the taxi, to be honest. I'm hoping. I don't know, but I'm hoping that him wanting to go elsewhere was him trying to get the taxi. Further up along Dogensaka, in the direction the perp was heading, was where Yamete Dori joined Route 246. Maybe the guy was planning to meet up with a getaway car? No, wait, hold on. If that were the plan, why would the gang have ditched the motorcycle earlier? Kano started tailing the man, racking his brain all the while. The suspect turned down a narrow side of the road. He wasn't heading toward Yamete Dori, or Route 246 at all, but back towards Shibuya Station. What in the world was going on? I was starting to feel like the crooks were just messing up with the investigation team. Kano radioed Kusei on the wireless. Terrifying fact, the police wireless system is digital in order to make transmissions more difficult to intercept. There are several different channels available, including the basic local channel, a common channel for contacting others nearby patrol cars, channels assigned to specific precincts, action update channels for riot squads, and so on. There's also a separate channel specifically for kidnapping cases, not on the standard wavelength. Sir, I don't think there's any point in seeing where this guy leads us anymore. That's not your call to make. Keep watching him. Sir, this is a waste of time. That girl might be in danger if... Kano's argument was cut short as he saw the man hand off the attaché case to yet another foreigner. Again? How many times were these criminals going to pull this trick? The detectives broke into two groups to follow both of the men. Kano followed the man with the attaché case, who eventually led him back to the area around Shibuya Station. Rumi and Shizuyo should be waiting at a nearby cafe right now. Kano tried to remember the name. That's right, it was called Lautrec. Terrifying fact, the name of the cafe was where college student Ryoko Kakinuma works as a waitress, named after the 19th century French painter Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec. He created numerous works, including many posters, book illustrations, and book covers, which are highly regarded in the art world. He kept his eye out for a place by that name as he tailed the target. Before long, he did spot the cafe. Its large plate glass window offered a view of the cozy interior. The sign out front read, Lautrec. Looked like this was the place. The man with the case was at the intersection, waiting for the light to change. Kano took the opportunity to peer inside. He spotted Rumi right away. She was facing away from him. So the man seated across from her must be her father. Kano realized he'd never seen a picture of him. Shizuyo grew organic produce up in Nagano nowadays, but until 2 years ago, he'd been a detective with the investigation division. Terrifying fact! MPD Investigative Division responsible for handling crimes such as murder, kidnapping, and arson that take place within the Tokyo metropolis. Truly exceptional officers are assigned to this division. They are regularly dispatched to various regional task forces to aid in investigations. where their talents and experience often prove critical. The position of section chief is traditionally given only to dedicated personnel well versed with crime scenes and organizational administration. Terrifying fact. Rumi looked up to her father for his distinguished police career, and always spoke quite highly of him. Kano had figured that if he became a policeman, Rumi might appreciate that. It was this simple impulse that had led him to join the force. Wow. So he became a police officer because of the girl, huh? He had also figured that public servants could stay afloat even in times of recession, and that his physical training would serve him well in such a line of work. Alright, looks like at least he had a backup reason that was more like, this seems like steady work. Once he was a policeman, he thought he could approach Shizuyo with his head held high and ask for his blessing in marrying his daughter. But after Rumi graduated from university, Shizuyo had up and retired from police work. Even Rumi didn't know why he'd made the decision. Kano had traveled to Nagano many times to ask Shizuyo for permission to marry her, but the only response he'd ever got was, "I'm not giving my daughter to any cop." Kano had never even gotten past the intercom before her father turned him away. Years on the force had nearly made Kano lose sight of what had driven him to become a policeman in the first place, and now the chance to meet Shizuyo face to face had finally come. He peered intently into the cafe. Across from him sat an older man with a grim expression. Just who was this hard-faced fellow? It took a lot to rattle Kano, but the guy looked scary. Could this really be his sweet little Rumi's father? The prospect of meeting him later filled Kano with sudden dread. The man went into the JR Shibuya station and stood before the ticket machine. It looked like he was planning on boarding a train. A scene from a popular movie about a kidnapping sprang into Kano's mind, where the crook had made off with the ransom money after it was tossed out the window of a train. What if this guy managed to get outside the dragnet and pulled a stunt like that? It looks like the suspect's gonna board a train, Kano informed Kuze over the wireless. Make sure you stay on his tail. Apparently, Kuze still wanted to string the perp along for a bit. We've got the lizards ready to pursue. Terrifying fact! Japanese police lingo for motorcycle squads deployed to pursue suspects in urban settings. Lizards. We'll re-establish our dragnet around whatever station he gets off at. The man purchased a ticket from the machine and passed through the gate. There was no way to tell what station he'd bought a ticket for, but it looked like he was heading clockwise along the Yamanote line loop. Kano used his prepaid card and made his way through the ticket gate as well. Terrifying fact! Officers do not actually get free rides on public transportation simply by flashing their badges, as is frequently depicted in TV shows and films. Doing so might risk alerting the suspect. For this reason, prepaid cards are provided ahead of time. That's actually a pretty good fact. An announcement chime signaled the imminent arrival of a train up on the platform. The man made his way up the stairs looking calm and composed. He showed no sign of checking for pursuers. Kano hurried after him. The man stopped at the very edge of the platform to await the train. Not ideal. There was no way for Kano to get close without sticking out like a sore thumb. The train glided up to the platform. The man gave a quick look around as he stepped aboard. Kano followed. Trains on the Yamanote line didn't stop for long, and soon they were on their way. Glancing around, Kano noticed other MPD investigators who had slipped aboard the train as well. The suspect stood behind the driver's compartment, staring contemplatively at the scenery outside. The man's composure only served to rattle Kano more. A man in a gaudy necktie walked past Kano, talking on his cell phone. "Yes, everything's going fine on this end," he said. "There's no need to worry." In his other hand, he carried the same sort of attaché case as the man they were tailing. He headed right toward the driver's compartment and stood next to the suspect. Well, now that's not suspicious. Kano leaned his head subtly, straining to make out what he could of the phone conversation at the other end of the car. Yes, of course. 225 pages. All fully proofread. 225. Terrifying fact. Article 225 of the Penal Code of Japan details kidnapping for profit and kidnapping for ransom. Accordingly, 225 is police shorthand for kidnapping. That was police jargon for kidnapping. Thanks, game. Was this guy in cahoots with the kidnapper? Maybe the criminals had planned an attaché case swap. Kano watched the newcomer like a hawk. But rather than making contact with the suspect, the man turned around and strolled back the way he'd come. He hadn't done anything suspicious at all. Yes. Right. Understood. Kano stole a glimpse of the man's face as he passed. He stopped and looked at Kano, seemingly aware that he was being watched. Kano decided to stare him down. Look away nonchalantly. Look away? No, staring him down seems awfully suspect. Let's look away. But his anxiety got the better of him, and after a moment, he turned his gaze right back. Thanks, game. Soon the two men were locked into a staring contest. Ah, my apologies, the man said. He shut his phone with a click. I know it's rather rude to talk on one's cell phone when you're on a train. It's just common decency. The man affected a smile, then headed back to the car from which he'd come. Sheesh. Guess I overreacted. Gotta stop staring at everyone, an oddly dressed passenger murmured into Kano's ear. Blend into your surroundings more. Sasayama? When'd you get here? His partner had somehow found time to change his disguise. The steely expression on his face was at odds with his anime nerd getup. Kano had seen Sasayama disguise himself as plenty of things throughout the years. Terrifying fact! It's quite rare for Sasayama to actually wear a suit. On the rare occasions when he does, and he's walking the halls of his home precinct, he frequently goes unrecognized. Here are some designs from his evidence notebook. Wait, Santa is must for Christmas. Stakeouts with a smile. Keep presents in vague to calm down children in case of emergencies. Police. Use this for train stakeouts. Don't forget awkward smile. Bag of merch. Going too far? Filled with posters and figurines. Glasses are crucial. Prized possession clutched to chest. Point is to draw attention in crowded train cars. Tragic expression. Sunglasses. Suit and posture amplify wild animal side. Disguise for stakeouts at dockside warehouses. Let coworkers know beforehand so as not to be mistaken for the real thing. La. Handcuffs up sleeves. Arrest crooks while practicing discipline. Might help to stop funeral robbers. For nighttime stakeouts, hardcore material. Plenty of exposure. Emphasize bulginess in final version. Oh my goodness. Well. That was great, actually. Chief, chef, magician, samurai, and an astronaut, to name a few. But this was a new extreme, even for him. When he first joined the force, Kano had found Sasayama's costuming antics amusing, wondering where he managed to find his outfits. But lately, his quirk had become tedious. You like the ocean? Huh? Never mind. Sasayama pulled a small bottle from his breast pocket. Drink this while you can. Guessing you haven't eaten. Huh? No! No! No, he hasn't eaten! Please don't drink this! The least I could do. Handed Kano the bottle and slipped away into the next compartment. Please don't drink this. Please give me a choice to not drink this. No. He'd pulled an all-nighter and hadn't eaten, so he was glad to have something. He took a sip. Whatever this was, it was bland. Oh no. It almost didn't taste like anything. Just what had Sasayama given him? Oh, we're so bad ending. What the heck? Anything's better than nothing. brought the bottle to his lips and chugged the contents down. He suddenly got a massive head rush. He felt a heat like a burning that spread from his insides throughout his whole body. No, that wasn't right. It was an ache. It was a ferocious ache. A burning that spread from his insides to his fingertips. And there was pain. A numbing that spread from his insides all the way down to his toes. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Burning, aching, hurting. Twitching, itchy, dizzy, sleepy, chilly, willy, nilly. This was not good. This was super duper not good. He broke into a cold sweat, his forehead drenched, his body damp and clammy all over. He felt his grip on consciousness slipping. Sasayama, what the hell did you do to me? With bleary eyes, he squinted to read the writing on the bottle. Burn. After a scant few letters, Kano blacked out. No. Kano blacked out after drinking an unknown substance without checking to see what it was. What he drank, it turns out, was a free sample of something called Burning Hammer. But don't blame Sasayama. He was just passing along the sample he got from someone in a mascot costume. Welp. Dead. So dead. Alright. I guess we could if we go back and we don't give him the sample, he can't give it to him. And then he can't drink it and we don't die, right? Alright, try and give this to the businessman on the left. Clutching the free sample in my furry fist, I tried to force it off on the businessman to my left. Here you go, sir. Free sample of Burning Hammer, the latest and greatest diet drink. The businessman flashes me a look of utter contempt and makes a point of avoiding me as he slips past. Bam. There goes the wind right out of my sails. I wonder how the other mascot is doing about now. Sales demo happening. Yeah, you got all the samples. Don't know why anyone's not taking mine. Tried my best. Why do you've got that many left? Do I have to play through the whole thing? Or can I jump now that I've done the other direction? I might have to read through the whole chapter. Bum, bum, bum. Because I doubt not giving that away is going to change anything here. Looking for old ladies and girls and people to give diet drinks to. Random guys, they're not going to take your samples. Yeah, sure, I'll drink all of your drinks. It'll be fine. And then we were friends and we were happy. This was before we found out that the reason we needed to get this money was for a necklace. This was when I was just like, oh, this is absolutely for somebody to pay their rent. I don't need to play through all of it again. Okay, where is... not you. You. Alright, we're on here. Everything's great. There's a guy in a necktie. Yeah, we're here. Let's stare him down. Oh, my apologies, the man said. He shut his phone with a click. I know it's rather rude to talk on one's cell phone. It's common decency. The man affected a smile and headed back to the car. Yeah, so nothing really different there. Sheesh. Guess I overreacted. Gotta stop staring at everyone. Oddly distressed passenger murmured into Kano's ear. Blend into your surroundings more. Kano had seen Sasumi disguise himself as plenty of things throughout the years. Santa Claus, Yakuza member, Japanese folk singer, and a Buddhist priest to name a few. This was a new extreme even for him. When he first joined the force, Kano had found Sasayama's costuming antics amusing. Concentrate, keep your eyes peeled. Sasayama gave Kano a pat on the backside and slipped away into the next car. The suspect, meanwhile, was still staring out the window. The announcer's electronic voice filled the train compartment. Next stop, Harajuku. Next stop, Harajuku. Huh? Kano almost cried out. The suspect was moving toward the exit door. Apparently he was only taking the train one station down the line. The train pulled into Harajuku Station and the man got off. Terrifying fact! The area east of the Japan Rail, Harajuku Station, corresponding to Jingumai, Jingumai? One Chrome in Shibuya. Once a bustling shukuba, or post station, where travelers could rest while journeying across the country. In modern times, it bustles instead with high schoolers after school displaying flashy youth fashion. Clothing and accessory stores and fast food restaurants line the streets. Many cutting-edge trends in Japanese youth culture get their start here. Detectives following him disembarked accordingly. The suspect walked along the platform and took a seat on an empty bench. Was he checking to see if he had a tail? Sticking around the platform at a station where you just got off was pretty unusual behavior. Not wanting to arouse the man's suspicion, the investigators from the MPD made their way down the stairs as inconspicuously as they could. Kano, however, had a sudden inspiration and went to speak to one of the station attendants. Sorry to bother you, but I think I left something on the train just now. He tried to keep an eye on the man on the bench as he fed his story to the attendant. The suspect sat silently on the bench, attaché case clutched securely in his arms. He didn't really look like he was checking for a tail. Was he waiting for someone else then? Before long, a train heading counterclockwise around the loop arrived. The man rose from the bench and stepped up on the boarding area. Wait, what the heck? If this guy got on the counterclockwise train, wouldn't he just take him back to Shibuya Station? The man boarded the train. Kano had no choice but to follow suit. Was this guy playing them? He seems like he's totally playing you. The suspect got off again once the train reached Shibuya. All he'd done was go to Harajuku and come right back. Kano reported it to Kuze. The suspect has returned to Shibuya Station. Acknowledged. Keep tailing him. Kano felt himself growing increasingly paranoid. This criminal organization didn't seem too keen on getting away. And here was HQ giving these guys free rein. Something was off. He was sure of that. As he tailed the mark, Kano took out his phone. What were Tatino's instincts about the case right now? If the senior detective had any advice, Kano would love to hear it. He dialed Tatino's number. What? You're skipping the notebook. You're going right to the source. The line rang a few times, but nobody picked up. Probably he was too busy seeing Hitomi's safety. Kano felt bewildered. They'd been letting the suspect lead them around for over an hour now. During an abduction case, you generally didn't update the victim's family on any developments in case they tried to interfere. Kano could only imagine what the Osawa family was going through right now. After a short walk from Shibuya Station, the attaché case was handed off yet again. This time, the recipient was a tall, dark-skinned man. Again, the Shibuya-based task force split into two groups in order to tail both suspects. Kano stuck with the man who had the case. As the previous men had done, the newest suspect wandered around Dogenzaka for a while. Repeatedly looping around and around the same locations was a weirdly roundabout way to make a series of handoffs. Excuse me, detective. Kano turned around with a start. Oh, hey, he said. I know you. It was Leyland Palmer, the lecturer who'd been an eyewitness to the kidnapping. All right. The man practically radiated concern. How's Maria doing? Is she all right? I'm very, worried for her. His Japanese was more halting now. My heart, is with her family. Kano gave a quick look around. It didn't appear that they were being watched. Maybe Palmer knew more than he told the police earlier. If Kano talked to him now, he might get some additional clues. If the syndicate spots us, my cover's blown. We're hosed. Yeah, probably not a good idea to stick around. But tailing everybody does seem kind of like a pain. Sure, let's get clues. Maybe Palmer had more than he told the police earlier. Maybe we get clues. Actually, Leyland, do you mind if I ask you a few more questions about the party where the kidnapping occurred? Leyland squared his shoulders. No, please, ask anything. Do you know what time Maria showed up at the event? Leyland hesitated, thinking. Probably around 6 o'clock? She was there when it started. Was there anyone else who stood out? Stood out? How? Like someone you usually wouldn't expect to see there. Leyland tilted his head. No, I don't think so. Everyone there was a student from my class, including the exchange students. Not much new here, Kano thought. He decided to ask one last question. Did you happen to hear why Hitomi was running late in the first place? Oh, no. Sorry, I'm not very helpful, am I? Leyland dipped his head in apology. It's alright. Thank you for your cooperation. Please help Maria. I will. Kano parted ways with Leyland and went back to tailing his suspect. Alright. He pulled his phone from his pocket. It was Rumi again. It was weird that she called twice when she knew he was in the middle of something important. Had something happened while she was waiting at the cafe with Shizuo? Kano picked up hurriedly. What's the matter? What's the matter? You know what the matter is. Rather than Rumi's soft soprano, it was a threatening masculine voice that came over the phone. Uh-oh. Kano felt his whole body stiffen with dread. Is this my father-in-law speaking? Don't remember being anyone's father-in-law. The speaker's tone was firm and flat. No, I know. I just, Kano found himself at a loss for words. So you're dating my daughter, huh? Sir, yes, sir? Kano barely squeaked out his reply. Thinking about getting married? Yes, sir. And speaking of which, I'd love the chance to sit down and have a nice long... Then how long are you gonna keep me waiting? Hurry up and get your ass over here. Oh, how very much Kano wished he could do exactly that. Sir, I would, but... Forget it. The words came in an angry huff. You can't have her. Goodbye. What? Sir, please wait. As Kano cried in desperation, he heard Rumi's voice on the other end of the line. Dad, you can't just use my phone like that. You were taking too long in the bathroom. Give it back. Rumi? Kano tried and failed to keep the heartbreak out of his voice. Sweetie, what's wrong? Your father just said he doesn't want us to getting married. What? Dad? What did you say to my boyfriend? Listen to you, calling that boy little pet names and whatnot. I think you're a little too attached. Daddy, you haven't even met him. That's why I told you to have him come see me. How long is he gonna make me wait? Kano listened as the two argued on the other end of the phone. The phone must be lying somewhere between them. Could this get any more awkward? Rumi, I'm sorry, Kano shouted apologetically into the mouthpiece. This is all my fault. Please, you don't have to fight like this. The phone clattered as Rumi scrambled to bring it to her cheek. No, I'm the one who should be sorry. Sorry for what? It was Shizuya again, grumbling in the background. You've nothing to apologize for. I'll deal with my father, Rumi said hastily. You just focus on work, sweetie. I know you're in the middle of something really important. Thanks, Rumi. Kano was legitimately touched. I'll do my best. Kano hung up and went to the back to the task at hand, more determined than ever. Maybe just elope? I don't know if that would be an option. That seems... I'm not sure if that's an option for her. For Rumi's sake, not to mention the victims, he needed to focus on cracking this case. The man he was tailing was walking several meters ahead. There was no telling when Kuzu might give the arrest order. Kano braced himself to spring into action the very instant the order came down. Mobile command to all units. Once more the director's voice came in over the wireless. Was it time to make the arrest at last? We've identified the man who first picked up the attaché case by the statue of Hachiko. No arrest yet then, but still, a crucial development. Oh right, this guy. His name is Tariq Al-Karawan. He's got priors for larceny, illegal possession of narcotics, you name it. He belongs to a foreign criminal syndicate that's operating in Shibuya. Kano felt his apprehension rising. If the syndicate was behind the kidnapping, they were anything but amateurs. And though they might be leading the police on a wild goose chase, they certainly weren't playing around. Aha! Made it to the end of the hour. Nice. Alright, yeah, we've got to keep out on Achi, but I can't remember why. Okay, we're gonna go here. Because there was a place we could jump. Where was that? Is it not in here? Can I not jump to... Nope, it wasn't that one. I thought it was within Tama's. Knock at the door. Huh? Who could that be? Mr. Yanagishida asks. You got a customer already? He opened the door and heads out inside. No way's that a customer, Chiri says. I mean, right? She guzzled down her 2-liter bottle of iced tea. No one's gonna buy something as sketchy as this. I guess not, I agree. But the only thing I can really say about burning hammers is that it's spicy. Anyhow, Cheery says, wanna get something to eat? But you just ate lunch. 2 lunches. I know this amazing Chinese buffet. Wanna come along? Because I am gonna dominate. Huh? Someday I plan to chow my way through every item on their menu. Before I can respond, I hear a sudden outburst in the hallway. The hell are you thinking selling something like this? The voice sounds harsh and strained. And quickly followed by another voice, Mr. Yanagishita, sounding desperately apologetic. Well, to be fair now, I did ask whether or not you were on an empty stomach. He must have given someone burning hammer, huh? Cheery nods. Yeah, maybe. But that's weird. Did we really get a customer this early? Yeah, isn't the sales demo not until 1 o'clock? There are more sounds from the hallway. Cheery gets a weird look on her face. Whoa, what? What the heck? What's going on? Suddenly, a man kicks down the door and bursts in, shrieking like a madman. His face is flushed. Steam is erupting from every pore. Cheery and I can only stare frozen with bewilderment as he rampages around the room, smashing everything in sight. Oh no. In a matter of moments, the venue is completely totaled. The guy simply charges back out the door. No chance of holding a sales demo now. Why did this have to happen? Who was that guy? Why'd he have to do this? Bad end. There wasn't much Tama and Cheery could do to stop this strange intruder from destroying the sales event. But why did he show up in the first place, especially at this hour? The man in question has a clear choice to make at 11:30, and poor Tama's fate hinges on what he decides. Alright. Hey, Pinball Witch. Can I... We did stop him from going to a taxi, so maybe this will be okay. Taxi's tires squealed as the cab rounded a corner. The shift in momentum made Minaka topple over in the back seat. There we go. 10 minutes on the dot, the driver announced. Minorikawa righted himself and looked out the window. Shibuya Station. I knew you could do it, Mr. Kimizuka. He told the driver how to get to Heaven Publishing. It shouldn't be more than 5 minutes further. Sir, if I may ask, just what are you in such a hurry over? Son of a... I beg your pardon, Kimizuki bristled. Not you, the guy who's waiting on me, Minorikawa said. I'm gonna give that man a piece of my mind. The multi-tenant building where Heaven Publishing had its offices came into view. The taxi stopped outside. Minorikawa opened the door as he hurriedly reached for his wallet, then he stopped. What if the worst had come to pass and he needed to take Toyama to a hospital? Should he have a taxi wait here? Or would it be better to call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. Wait here, I'll be right back. Minorikawa was out of the cab in an instant, running for the building. Once inside, he avoided the elevator in favor of rushing up the stairs. Heaven Publishing rented out the 3rd and 4th floors. In all likelihood, Toyama would be at the editing department of 4-Star General Gossip on the 4th floor. We stopped him, right? When he got there, however, the door was locked. Mr. Toyama! Mr. Toyama! He shouted in vain, but there was no reply. Something was seriously wrong. Minorikawa took a deep breath and then kicked the door in. Whoa! Ha! Not dead yet! Toyama was standing on a stool about to slip his head through a noose that hung from the ceiling. What the hell are you doing? Minorikawa lunged for Toyama. The two men crashed to the floor in a tangled heap. A pile of clutter slid off a nearby desk and fell on top of them. Minorikawa, what are you doing? Toyama whined. Dragging himself back to his feet proved something of a challenge. That's what I'd like to know. Minorikawa's fury was mounting. The hell is all this about? He jabbed an accusing finger at the noose hanging from the ceiling. Oh, that. One of the fluorescent lights died, and I was just swapping it out. Don't you feed me that bull. What was that phone call all about? That business about how the only thing you could do was die. Tell me. Haha, that was just a joke. Toyama curled his lips into a faint semblance of a smile. Minorikawa wasn't buying it, but he didn't have time to press the issue. A cute little voice echoed through the editing office. Daddy, I'm back from the store. A little girl came walking in carrying a length of rubber gas tubing. It was Toyama's 5th grade daughter, Hannah. Terrifying fact. Tiryo Toyama's only daughter, currently 10 years old. The night Hannah was born at Shibuya Central Hospital, there was an unexpected fireworks display outside the window of the maternity ward. As he looked out at the bursting rockets, Tiryo decided to name his daughter Hana, after the Japanese word for fireworks, hanabi. Minorikawa stared. Toyama? You were planning on using that hose to... He hesitated to end a sentence with, gas yourself to death. Well, you know, it's almost gas heater season after all. The hell it is. It was a beautiful sunny April day outside. Well, you know how sensitive I am to the cold. This was getting truly ridiculous. Minorikawa got right up in his face. Listen, just explain to me what the heck is going on, okay? He kept his voice low, but his eyes were steely. Hannah clung tightly to her father, gazing wordly at the two men. No, it's just... Toyama let out a long, heavy sigh of resignation. Keep out? Yeah. Shows up in Tama's story at 11:20, and he lets out a sigh like Toyama's. Try checking the tip for that sigh. Alright, alright. Thanks for the hint, game. Alright, 11:20. I do think it's funny that they sigh the same as... What if we... I feel like we made fine decisions already, though. Protein... Burn... Yeah. Somewhere over here. Burning hammer. Here it is. Yeah, we can jump there now. We couldn't before. I mean, I wasn't going to because we were in the middle of Tama's story, but we hadn't done Minorikawa's story. That's fair, Pinball Witch. You have a good night. No, it's just... Toyama let a loud, heavy sigh of resignation. It's the scratch cards that were in 4-star Journal Gossip. Terrifying fact. A type of lottery card featuring areas printed with a special silver ink. These silver inked areas can be scratched off with just a fingertip or coin to reveal potential winnings, providing a quick speed lotto fix. In order to prevent the symbols or letters underneath the silver from showing through, the back of the card is printed in black. Somehow you always seem to lose when you've got your hopes up, but manage to win when you least expect it. That's where the problem is. And what is the problem? If you shine a light on the cards from behind, you can see where the winning symbols are. Oh no. Oh no. Whoa. I messed things up dealing with the printing company. All of this, he gestured vaguely. It's my fault, my responsibility. He proceeded to explain the situation in detail. Word was quick to leak on the internet that there was a way to find the winning symbols, and suddenly thousands of card holders turned up en masse to collect. Heaven Publishing was hit with a massive financial liability, and the employees rushed to flee a sinking ship. Before Toyama realized it, he was the only one left at the company, and he was up against the deadline for next month's 4-star General Gossip. If I have to drop next month's issue, I'll be stuck in debt even deeper. And if that happens, I'm finished. Toyama gave a dismal groan. So don't drop the issue, Minorukawa snapped. He pounded his fist right into the side of a cardboard box, but Toyama just shook his head weakly. I've been up for 3 days straight trying to fill the pages. It's not enough. I can't do the impossible. He dropped the gaze to the floor. Countless scratch cards lay scattered about. They'd probably been amidst the pile that had fallen off the desk earlier. Each card showed a neat row of 5 win symbols. You can't know if it's impossible if you don't see it through. I'll never make it in time. The proof needs to be done by 8 o'clock this evening. Terrifying fact. The final stage before printing, when the copy or manuscript is checked for errors. Not sending corrected proofs to the printer before the deadline can result in a book or magazine in question not making it onto the shelves in time for release day. Well then, Minorukawa thought to himself. He let out a sigh, then held his hand out to Hana. Hana, would you mind giving me that hose? Hana gave her father a quick look, and handed the rubber hose to Minorukawa. This won't be necessary. He tossed the rubber hose into the trash, and jabbed his finger at Toyama. Show me the layout and the draft proposal for next month's issue. Toyama blinked a few times in disbelief. Huh? You can't possibly be serious. I'm trying to help. Now show me the layout and the proposal before I change my mind. After a brief, incredulous pause, Toyama hurried off to grab the paperwork. A layout, in publishing speak, is an outline of a magazine showing which articles will occupy which pages. I'm surprised that wasn't a footnote. Minorukawa gave it a quick once-over, finding that 12 of the pages were still blank and untouched. He wanted to punch whatever writers had been assigned those pages. See what I mean? Toyama said. It's hopeless. He sounded perversely proud of his failure. Getting enough material to fill 12 pages by 8 o'clock. Yeah, it was definitely a tall order, alright. There are 5 protagonists in this game altogether. I think there's only 5. At least currently we only have 5. Says who? Minorukawa replied. Remember who you're talking to here. You seriously think you can do it? You're joking, right? Minorukawa shot back. I seriously know I can do it. There's nothing in this world that I hate more than a bad joke. Why are you doing this for me? Toyama was getting misty-eyed. I'm not doing it for you, you spineless wimp. I'm doing this for poor little Hana. Minorukawa, I'm so sorry. Toyama bowed his head so deeply Minorukawa thought he might put his face through the floor. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to your daughter. Oh, forgive me. Please forgive me, Hana. Toyama clutched her tightly in his arms. The girl hugged him back on the verge of tears. Hey now, enough of the waterworks. I've got your backs, don't you worry about a thing. Minorukawa picked up the draft proposal for the pages that needed filling. The words Shibuya Scuttlebutt Special were plastered across the cover sheet in big bold type. They used the word scuttlebutt. Yeah, scuttlebutt's a good word. Okay, so a 12-page special edition block on Shibuya. Fair enough. And first on the docket, drink yourself thin with Burning Hammer. This reeked of a scam. The only way drinking more of something would make you lose weight would be if it were mixed with a laxative. Probably. Still, there wasn't enough time to tweak the layout plan now. According to the proposal write-up, a product demo was scheduled for 1 p.m. that day. The location printed on the map was blurry and hard to make out, but Minorukawa had a rough idea where it was. It looked like he didn't have much of a choice, but to swing by in the hopes of getting more material. Ah, he's the one who... Yeah, he scanned further along into the proposal. Society of Surveillance, hidden cameras installed throughout Shibuya. The rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Where are they now? Washed up screenwriter showcase. Sexy Squared. Twins share top prize at local university beauty contest. Shibuya now! Black market organ trafficking in Shibuya. Shadowy foreign criminal syndicate exposed. Those 7 pieces were to fill the 12 empty pages. That was the plan, at any rate. But there wasn't enough material there to make any headway. The Shibuya Now article didn't even have any proposed content. This sucked hardcore. It didn't look like there was much material for the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad either. The note suggested that a few years prior, a group of youngsters in Shibuya had banded together to help fight crime in their neighborhoods. Ooh, that might be the group that we saw Achi used to run last stream. At this point, however, things had flipped around completely and they'd become a gang of street punks themselves. Yeah, that's the same group. It turned to the dark side. Had the makings for an interesting article, to be sure, but tracking down this game would take time. Minorikawa was personally intrigued by the one about organ harvesting in Shibuya. The rumor was that organs were being smuggled out of Southeast Asia and fenced locally at a tremendous price. There was even a plan to ascertain the authenticity of these claims. Fascinating. If Minorikawa was going to be spending all day gathering other material, though, he didn't have much time to spare for it. Shibuya Now. Rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Black market. Minorikawa decided that one of those 3 would have to go. Thought about it long and hard as he stared at the draft proposal. There's a good chance he'd really screw himself over if he picked the wrong one. Finally, he decided to cut... Okay. Well, Shibuya Now has no plan for it. So... that's probably not a good one to go with. But at the same time, trying to track down the rise and fall of a squad and also a black market organ trafficking. Yeah, we're gonna cut the one that doesn't have anything. This is the last day. Yeah, I know this was on sale for the PSN. But yeah, you're right. I think it might be the last day. He didn't have time to make up an article out of whole cloth. His goal was just to make sure that the 4-star general gossip made it to press at all. Society of Surveillance. Where are they now? Sexy Squared. Those 3 pieces had individuals slated for interviews, but no appointments had been made for any of them. Unscheduled interviews were a dicey prospect. Minorikawa decided to call them up on his cell as he made his way down the list. The only one he managed to get a hold of was Shinosuke Oware from the Where Are They Now piece. Former broadcast writer, has appeared on various popular variety shows on commercial networks Sun TV, currently heads up a small theater troupe known as the Wandering Angels, operating out of Shibuya. Later today, the troupe is putting on a performance at Theater Ace in Sakura Gaiokacho? He said he'd be willing to give a 15-minute interview after 2:30. Minorikawa sighed. He'd just have to get material from the others in a more impromptu fashion then. Putting his nose to the grindstone, he started throwing together a schedule for the day. Was it possible to get all that material and write it all up and still finish the whole thing by 8 o'clock? Let's see. That clock says it's about 11:30. That's like 6 pieces of writing you have to do. I really don't see you getting all of that done, but I kind of want you to. It was no use. No matter how he tweaked it, none of his simulations ended with him having a proof ready on time. He just needed one more thing, and that was another writer. I mean, that would definitely help. Minoru Kawa zoomed through his contacts list, calling up all the freelancers he knew. The results were depressing. Answering machines. Overseas on business. In the hospital. Currently doing time. Before long, he'd called everyone he could think of except for one, novice freelancer, Chiaki Iso. Chiaki was a bit of an odd duck, a reporter who was scared of talking to people. Minoru Kawa had never known anyone who became so hopelessly flustered in a one-on-one setting. Terrifying fact. In such a rattled state as to be unable to speak, Chiaki's tendency to become flustered is famous among her freelance writer colleagues. Once, she conducted an hour-long interview during which she only managed to ask her interview subject's name, yet another chapter in the legend of hopelessly flustered Chiaki. Okay, so we're not getting her to do the interviews. If she couldn't talk to people, she certainly couldn't do interviews. If she couldn't get any real interview content, she wouldn't be able to write much in the way of copy. Would she come to his aid if he asked? Quite probably. The issue was whether she would hinder more than help. Nah. Let's do it. Let's call up Chiaki. The phone rang several times before a sleepy voice finally answered. Hello? Chiaki, hi, it's Minoru Kawa. Are you free today? Huh? What? She seemed thrown by the abrupt question. Did you just wake up? Huh? No, I mean, well, yeah, good morning. Her voice still sounded half asleep. So then I'm guessing you don't have any work slated for today, as usual. Pretty much. No work, no money, no food. Nothing to do except sleep. If I'm not awake, I can't dwell on how hungry I am. She didn't sound well, almost like she literally didn't have anything to eat. Well, I've got work for you. I'm over at 4-Star General Gossip. Get over here ASAP. What? You really mean it? That seemed to finally wake her up. Yeah, but hurry. Minoru Kawa decided he'd assign Chiaki to the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. First, I want you to take a look around Shibuya for this group of vigilante types. By vigilantes, you mean people who have volunteered to help prevent crime? There was a note of relief in Chiaki's voice. Yeah, that's right. Except apparently now they've turned into a nasty street gang. Did you just say street gang? No way, absolutely not. Minoru Kawa could almost see her shaking her head on the other end of the line. What if I get killed, or sold into slavery overseas or something? He doubted there was much of a chance of the latter, or the former for that matter, but still, he understood her concern. Alright, I hear you. Then how about you go hang around Shibuya Station and do some street interviews for me? Street interviews? There was a nervous waver in Chiaki's voice now. Yeah, just talk to normal, regular people walking around outside the train station. That should be fine, yeah? But, Mr. Mino, street interviews aren't really my, Apparently it was beyond her capacity to give him a simple no. No buts. Just interview at least 10 people and get me an article by 6 o'clock. Okay. Minoru Kawa had originally planned to axe the Shibuya Now piece because it didn't have any content, but getting some quotes from people on the street would at least make for a useful filler. That gave him a sudden idea. He'd take on the vigilante story himself and have Chiaki handle Shibuya Now. That was plenty of work to keep 2 people occupied throughout the day. The more time-consuming organ market story would have to be cut. After explaining what kind of interviews he was after, Minoru Kawa hung up. Okay, I've gotten us another writer. We'll get through Toyama somehow. Toyama shrugged gloomily. Well, yeah, the thing is, there's actually one more problem. Are you kidding me? Minorukawa couldn't hide the irritation from his voice. What is it now? The loan company is sending a debt collector over at 4 o'clock. But as you can imagine, I don't have a single yen to give them. That's less than ideal, yeah? So what's the plan? Well, they said provisionally that if next month's issue gets published, they'll be willing to wait on repayment. Then there's no problem. The issue's coming out guaranteed. But they're not going to take my word on that anymore. I'm going to need to prove it. If we could fill, say, half of the 12 pages by the time they show up, I could probably convince them. Alright, Minorukawa said wearily. So for starters, we need 6 pages by 4 o'clock. They had to get all 12 pages done as it was. That made a perfect midpoint to shoot for. Any other problems you'd like to let me know about? No, Toyama said. No, that's all. I really am sorry about this, Minorukawa. Again, he bowed his head low. Minorukawa had felt distinctly awkward. He had known Toyama for years and had never been kowtowed to like this before. Is that how you spell that? I've never seen that spelled before. Weird. Yeah, well, just let me handle it, alright? I've only heard people say it out loud. Minorukawa unfolded a map of Shibuya. The first order of business was deciding where to begin getting content. He marked the editing office with a circle, then considered where to head next. Diet drink sales demo. Where are they now? Sexy Squared. A university associated with Midoriyama High School. Notable alumni include famous actress Masami Nagahama, a National High School Baseball Championship winning pitcher, the Tissue Prince. Its educational philosophy is summed up in its slogan, words, skill, and beauty. A very high percentage of winners of the Miss Midoriyama contest go on to careers in the entertainment industry. Alright. The diet drink sales demo was at 1 o'clock, and the interview with Shinosuke Oare for Where Are They Now was slated for 2:30, so those times were set. The question was what to do in the interim. Okay. Yeah, we probably should not go to the diet drink demo, because then that demo doesn't happen. Which oddly seems bad for him as well. So let's not do that. Let's go to Dogenzaka and check out the Endo Electronics store. Yeah, that should give him what he needed to put together the Society of Surveillance piece. Okay, I'm heading out. Don't even think about doing anything else stupid while I'm gone. Got it? Minorukawa hustled out of the editing office, hoping Toyama would take his admonition to heart. Blah. Exiting the building, he hopped into the taxi that was waiting outside. Thanks for waiting. Can you get me to Dogenzaka ASAP? Son of a bus. Minorukawa bristled. I beg your pardon? That son of a bus you wanted to give a piece of your mind, sir? Was he waiting for you like you expected? Oh, yeah. And I damn well gave it to him. Glad to hear it, sir. The taxi sped off. Minorukawa pulled out the proposal and looked it over again. The idea for the surveillance story revolved around the claim that hidden cameras had been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts, upwards of 500 of them. Supposedly, these had eliminated lots of blind spots, and the crime rate in the area had dropped significantly. Cameras were managed by Daisuke Endo, the owner of Endo Electronics and chairman of the local downtown committee. Oh wait, that's I think that's Achi's father. That was Minorukawa's first mission then. He needed to get this guy's story. Scanning the side of the road, Minorikawa finally spotted a rundown electronics shop. The sign out front, which looked like it might fall off at any moment, read Endo Electronics. Right here's fine. The taxi stopped, and Minorikawa pulled a 10,000 yen bill from his wallet. Keep the change, he said. What? Look, don't sweat it. The name's Minorikawa, and I'm a freelance writer. I care about two things, what's real and what's true. There's real worth to what you've done for me. There's a token of my appreciation. It's not much, but please take it. Minorikawa slid out of the taxi and headed for the electronics store. Inside, Endo Electronics looked more like a mountain of hoarded junk than an actual business. Towering piles of ancient appliances stretched toward the ceiling. Old television sets with dial knobs leaned against computers with 5-inch floppy drives. Terrifying fact! 5-inch floppy drives! A storage medium for personal computers and protection from 1976 to 2001. The magnetic discs are sheathed in paper or plastic jackets, and are known for their tendency to flop around in one's hand. Technically speaking, they are 5.25 inches in diameter. Incidentally, Door, released in 1983. The debut title from this game's producer, Koichi Nakamura, was produced in a 5-inch floppy version. What possible use could there be for all this outdated stuff? Mr. Endo, you in here? Nobody came to greet him. The shop was definitely open, though. Surely the proprietor hadn't left it unattended? Hey, Mr. Endo! Come on, I know you're in here. After a short wait, Minorikawa heard sounds from the living space behind the shop. A door opened to reveal a tired-looking middle-aged man. Yeah, what do you want? Are you Mr. Endo? Minorikawa asked. I am, the man said guardedly. And I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of something at the moment. Could you come back tomorrow, or... Please, just give me a minute. I'm a freelance writer. Name's Minorikawa. Minorikawa showed Endo his business card. I'm writing an article for 4-Star General Gossip. A magazine piece, huh? Precisely. So if I could just get a little of your time today. The phone rang, cutting him off before he could get down to business. I'm sorry, you'll have to excuse me for a moment. Endo reached into the clutter and pulled out a telephone. Hello, Endo Electronics. The proprietor listened for a moment, then raised an eyebrow. Yeah, that's a problem, alright. Alright, understood. I'll try and get a hold of the customer then. Endo set the receiver back down. What was all that about, Miss Minorikawa asked. Oh, yesterday I sold the dry ice machine, and the manufacturer just called to let me know the model is defective. Defective? Apparently once it starts making dry ice, it won't stop. I need to tell the customer I have to recall the machine and refund their deposit. Please give me a moment. Endo sifted through some sales slips, read a number off of one, and made a phone call. Nobody picked up on the other end, however. That's right, he grumbled to himself. He said they had some performance today. Performance? Minorikawa asked. I sold it to a guy from some theater troupe. They're called the Wandering Angels or something. Terrifying fact! Wandering Angels! A theater troupe run by Shinosuke Orai. This afternoon at 5:30 p.m. they are performing their 22nd piece, Au revoir. Right now, all of the actors are already at the theater except for Akiyomi Mondo, who plays the rival of the main character Ryu. The angry production chief has sent his assistant to Mondo's apartment, but he does not yet know what awaits him there. Continued in the Tale of the Wandering Angels Episode 2, 6 episodes in all! The Wandering Angels? That was Shinosuke Orai's theater troupe. Minorikawa had an interview with him booked for 2:30. Anyhow, what can I do for you? Minorikawa hastily explained what he was after. Endo gave him a dubious look. As I said earlier, I'm a bit busy right now. Busy cleaning up, I hope. How do you get anything done in this mess? Why, are you this rude to all your interview subjects? 5 minutes! Just give me 5 minutes of your time, please. You've got to be joking. Go on, get the hell out of here. Endo headed for his back room in a huff. Fine, then I'll just have to write about what you've already told me. Namely, that Endo Electronics sells defective merchandise. Ooh. Huh? What are you implying? Did you or did you not sell that theater troupe a defective piece of equipment? Look, I'm gonna get in touch with them as soon as... I'm betting they're in a hurry preparing for their performance. I doubt you'll be getting through to them today. Endo bit his lip. Now that I have your attention, Minarakawa said, let's make a deal. What kind of deal? I'm meeting with a member of the Wandering Angels a little later today. I can let them know about the dry ice machine for you. In exchange, all you have to do is give me my interview. Endo scowled. And where's your proof that you'll be meeting with Wandering Angels? I might take advantage of a guy, but when he's down, Minarakawa replied. But one thing, I'm not a liar. The shopkeeper took a few moments to think about it. Fine, he grumbled. 5 minutes, that's all you get. Minarakawa whipped his notepad out of his coat, like he was drawing a gun. Then let's get right down to it, shall we? Go right ahead. So, I hear there are over 500 surveillance cameras that have been installed throughout Shibuya's shopping districts. Yes, that's right. Why so many? We used to have a lot of delinquents in town. Terrifying fact! Delinquents are young people who act rowdy or cause trouble, often at arcades or convenience store parking lots, and who frequently resort to petty theft and other mischief, already referred to in more outmoded terms as ruffians or hoodlums. Endo said the word with marked distaste. Oh yeah? I remember there being some problem kids around. There were real punks, vandalized my signs, made a mess of my storehouse. They were just awful. I see. Minarakawa scribbled diligently in his notepad. Heck, my own son put together a sort of vigilante squad to help teach those punks a lesson. Wait, vigilante squad? Whoa, hold up right there for a sec. Minarakawa jutted out his hand to interrupt. This guy's son was part of the vigilante squad? What a stroke of luck! Maybe he could also provide some info for the article of the gangs of Shibuya. Sorry, I don't mean to get too far off topic here, but could you tell me the name of this group your song belongs to? They call themselves SOS. Terrifying fact! SOS! Originally a group of well-meaning young people who would get together downtown as a sort of vigilante squad, trying to keep Shibuya clean and safe. In those days, the group never engaged in theft or other criminal activities. More recently, however, SOS has become one of the biggest gangs in Shibuya, resorting to defacing public property with graffiti, shoplifting, and shaking people down for cash. In case you forgot, last time we learned what SOS stood for, and it was the Studs of Shibuya. Prided themselves on being the top gang in Shibuya and all that. The top gang in Shibuya? Did I really just hit the jackpot right here? Not to pat myself on the back, but go me! All I have to do is step outside and the story finds me. I think I might be a natural at this. As it happens, I'd also like to interview people from SOS. Would you be able to put me in touch with your son? Yeah, sure. But you should know that my son isn't in the gang anymore. Ah. So we can use this part to probably, yeah, jump over to Achi. We're not gonna do that right now. Oh, Minarakawa hesitated. Guess he's of no use to me then. Oh, believe me, I know how you feel. Ouch. Then the look on Endo's face spoke volumes. There was no point interviewing Endo's son if he wasn't with the gang anymore. It figured that Minarakawa's run of good luck would end eventually. Still, he'd gotten a lead in the form of a name, SOS. That was progress. Alright, so back to the matter at hand. He flipped his notepad back open. What did you decide to do about all these juvenile delinquents? I set up a tiny little web camera in order to protect my property. Terrifying fact! Web cameras! Cameras designed to send video information to a computer via the internet. Look carefully, you can often spot them outside private residences and even in public streets, where they are installed for use in surveillance. Given the risks of transmitted data being intercepted, the images recorded by such cameras are generally encrypted to prevent playback by unauthorized third parties. Many landmarks and attractions make their camera footage publicly available online. That's true. We have a couple in Victoria that are like that. I see. And I'm guessing the webcam did the trick? Sure did. And so then other local businesses heard about it and started asking me to install some for them. Web cameras aren't particularly expensive, so it wasn't too tough to set them up all over downtown. So who's in charge of these security cameras? Members of the Downtown Business Committee take turns. The cameras are connected via wireless network that business owners can access throughout the area. Terrifying fact! A wireless network! A LAN, or local area network. A communication system that can only be used within a limited geographical area. A wireless LAN transmits using electronic signals. Although convenient, because it does not require cable attachments, there is a risk of signals conveyed in this way being intercepted by a third party. Oh, I wonder if that's going to work into the story. How's your security for this wireless network? Oh, no problems on that front. Endo seems surprised at the question. All the footage sent over the network is fully encrypted. Terrifying fact, encryption is the process of encoding data so that it is indecipherable by a third party. Restoring encrypted data to its initial form requires what is called a key, a program designed for this purpose. There are two main types of such cryptographic systems. Secret key crypto systems use the same key for both encryption and decryption. Public key crypto systems use a public key to encrypt the data, but require a private key known by the recipient in order to decrypt. But still, people can't feel too good about being recorded on camera without their knowledge, don't you think? Minorikawa asked. The shopkeeper's expression darkened. We hope to strike a balance between crime prevention and protecting individual privacy. Uh-huh. And who determines what that balance is? Minorikawa let a note of challenge slip into his voice. That would be me. I've been entrusted with the management of the security cameras. I see. So essentially you're providing your own moral oversight. Are you implying that I'm abusing my authority? Endo shot back. I'm doing this in the name of public order. Right, you've had your 5 minutes. Now get out of here. The shopkeeper stood up and headed into the back. I'll be sure to let the Wandering Angels know about the dry ice machine, Minorikawa hollered at the closing door. Terrifying fact! Episode 2 of The Wandering Angels. When Akiyomi Mondo didn't show up at the theater at the meetup time, production assistant Yukio Tozuka went to call on him at his apartment. Upon arriving, Tozuka found that the place had been staked out by debt collectors. Mondo had borrowed 300,000 yen, and they wouldn't leave his home until he paid up. It looked like the only way to save Mondo was to give the debt collectors the operating funds for the theater. But before Tozuka could head back to relay this news, the props master, Shinichi Bando, showed up. Continued in episode 3. There's a separate story going on in the subnotes. Endo didn't reply. Minorikawa had gotten enough of a story to put an article together, so he decided to hurry to a coffee shop and get started on some coffee. He was making his way down along Dogenzaka when his cell phone rang, like a very old-sounding phone. The incoming call displayed showed Chiaki's name. Chiaki, what's going on? 6 protagonists, one of which you can't play. Oh, it's no use. She sounded like she was on the verge of tears. What's no use? I can't do this. I just can't talk to people passing by on the street. What? Why not? It's just that everyone seems so busy when they're walking past. If I try to interrupt them, then they're gonna all be mad at me. Well, who the hell cares if they get mad? Minorikawa was ready to start ripping his hair out. I don't want them to be mad at me. Well, this wasn't about what she wanted, was it? She was supposed to be working, not whining. Look, Chiaki, you need to get me those interviews, period. Do I make myself clear? He hung up before she could squeeze in an objection. Buzz it. Buzz it, Minorikawa muttered. Just what I needed. One more thing to worry about. He pulled at his hair a few times and cast his worried gaze in the direction of Shibuya Station. Yeah, we got him through the hour. Oh. Alright. My voice is actually getting pretty hoarse. This is getting hard to do. So I'm gonna just put us on... We're gonna stop playing this game. I'm gonna put us on break for a couple minutes. And I think for the last hour I'm just gonna switch to Persona Dancing. Because this game is great, but I think 3 hours might be a bit long for me to read. So, I'll be back in a few minutes.